Good afternoon, Guyana. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Recount Update. Today is day 28. My name is Hugh Todd, and today we have Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, our Prime Ministerial candidate, who will be joining us this afternoon. Thank you, Brigadier, for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Hugh Todd, for having me on the program, and a special hello to our viewers out there. I'm here at the Artachon Convention Center, and as you know, we've already finished the recount of regions 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 9, and in progress, the recount of regions 4, 6, and 10 continue. And I think they're likely to finish like about 90 boxes today. All things go well.
That is good progress. As you're aware, as well as the Guyanese population, we are grappling with the fraudulent claims made by the APNU AFC, where they're alleging that many persons who they claim were out of the jurisdiction on March 2nd are checked off as voted. We know that those claims are not credible, and we have a lot of information to prove otherwise. But I want to begin firstly by looking at the APNU FC in terms of its structure. The fact that the PNC is the dominant political party in that coalition outfit. And we know the history of the PNC and how they believe in dominating the state and the state apparatus. My first question to you, Brigadier, is I want your view on basically to what extent do you believe that the APNU FC are using the state apparatus to influence GCOM in trying to create a narrative that would give them that would influence an outcome in their favor?
Well, I think it's unbecoming of APNU AFC in the approach to have the police investigate this claims that another set of frivolous claims that they're making. Perhaps it would have been more palatable if APNU AFC would have, through their commissioners, taken their concerns to GCOM and have it discussed with the chair and with the presence of the commissioners representing the PPPC. And perhaps they would arrive at a position to determine whether or not they should submit such a claim as against, APNU AFC, a political organization dealing with only their commissioners and the chair and involving the police. All right, this does not augur well for Guyana. This does not augur well for transparency and credibility in this election process, this recount process. It's a case of a political party that is in government using what we'll call the advantage of incumbency, right, to get at the public service organizations who really should not have been answering to a political party, but answering to GCOM in the sense that the matter is properly ventilated at GCOM, and whatever request is made by GCOM is made with the knowledge of all the commissioners from both sides.
Yes, I agree with you. So if we move to the Guyana Police Force, so the letter was dispatched to the Guyana Police Force, and the commissioner would have tasked the deputy chief immigration officer to carry out the wishes of GCOM. To what extent is the police force at the level of the commissioner, are they compromised? Because they could have refused under the law to say, well, this may not be a proper request, and asked for it to be done in the way in which it speaks to transparency and accountability. Are they compromised? Because when we look at what was submitted, there are inaccuracies in the document that they would have sent back to GCOM itself. So is it an oversight, or is it a case where they're actually playing into the hands of the APNO AFC?
Well, I'm not a lawyer here, but it appears that the commissioner of police allow his organization, the Guyana Police Force, to be baited by the APNO AFC on this one. You know, and it doesn't augur well for the police, because the police supposed to be very professional. The police have their legal advisors, and
Yes.
perhaps they could pass such a request by their legal advisors first before attempting to respond. And, you know, it's unusual the speed in which the police responded to that request.
Yes.
I mean, everybody's talking about that, you know.
Very
and
good.
yeah, really, the police should have been a bit more careful, especially at this time, the climate in the country and everything and so, because all of us wants to continue to respect the police force. All of us will expect the police force to be transparent with any request that comes before it, you know,
Yes.
and perhaps pass it by your legal advisors first
Yes.
before engaging in such a request that ends up being awkward, you know,
Messy.
in the eyes of everybody now. You know, perception is reality. That's Guyana today.
Yes.
And the perception is that the police is now hand in glove with the APNU AFC. And that's frightening.
Yes, so there is trouble in
must remain professional.
Yes, I agree with you. Thanks for that. So we move to the point where we've seen many persons coming forward, voicing their concerns over the fact that they were alleged to have been out of the country by the APNO AFC. And you can see the sincerity and the concern in those persons' voices and in terms of their emotions. Very pouring. It doesn't look good for us as a young democracy, but persons are speaking out. So we had many persons coming out and talking about their disappointment with the electoral process, trying to treat with them as if there was some amount of fraud. And we have scores of persons who would have come out. Do you think that this should give GCOM an indication that we have the evidence that they should now take that off of the table and focus strictly on the recount process and the declaration of the winner, which should happen in a few days?
We had told GCOM that before now. This is a quantitative process. The numbers will determine who wins this election. And all GCOM is supposed to be doing is focusing on the recount, as you quite rightly said. To get into this whole investigation of frivolous allegations made by APNU AFC is like allowing themselves, that is GCOM, allowing themselves to be entrapped in APNU AFC's game plan. So here again, we have a situation where GCOM is looking bad, where the lies and the acts of desperation by APNU AFC is, the lies are being dispelled, because for every Guyanese that comes forward and said, look, I am here, this is my passport, I was in Guyana, I had a US visa, but I didn't travel, I stayed, I voted, and I'm still here. For every Guyanese who's on that list of query that comes forward, it dispels the lies, the frivolous allegations by the APNU AFC. It kind of hits at GCOM too for allowing themselves to be caught in this funny request from up to AFC. And thirdly, it puts the Guyana police force in a bad light in the eyes of every Guyanese.
Yes.
The Guyana police force, a professional organization, will just pick up a list like this and just run helter-skelter and start, reporting, yes, these persons, is correct as up you saying, that they were not in Guyana. So 3 organizations look bad here. APNU AFC, which we're not surprised because we know that they embark on a desperate campaign at this 11th hour of the game when the writing is already on the wall. As I mentioned before, we finished off Region 6. We finished off Region 10, but the focus region is Region 4. Yes. And for every box that we count in Region 4 is showing the reality of what was done, what the APNU AFC connived with elements of the GCOM Secretariat here, Mr. Mingo, to do.
Yes.
So once these boxes count, we see it, and the writing is on the wall for APNU AFC. Yes. But GCOM's supposed to remain neutral to this whole thing. The whole peace and stability of this country are in the hands of GCOM and the Guyana Police Force.
Yes.
So GCOM and the Guyana Police Force has a final and perhaps a last opportunity to remain neutral and professional to this whole exercise.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Brigadier. We want to just show a short clip of what we were actually talking about. Persons coming out and voicing their concerns based on the allegations made by the APNU AFC. Take a look.
This is my ID card. My name is Himant Narai Stilchan. I'm residing in Champion, Myconi Creek. On March 2nd, I voted at Champion Primary School, which is next door to my home, where I reside in. I didn't have a visa. I did not leave Guyana for the past 15 years.
My name is Annette Reddy, and this is to prove that I have voted on election day at 2 Miles Primary, and this is my ID card. So if you could see my number, my ID number, this is me here. So I'm not dead, and I did not migrate, so this is the proof. This is my proof.
My name is Kevin Marvin Van Broek. I live at Block 21, Section A, Country Village, West Coast, Barbados. On March 2nd, I voted at the Country Nursery School, and this is my ID card. I never went to the country. And I live in Guyana.
My name is Ramcharan. I live at 12 Cotton Tree Village, West Coast, Barbados. On the 2nd of March, I voted at the Cotton Tree Nursery School. I living in Guyana. I did not go anywhere, and this is my ID card.
Hi, my name is Christopher Mahavir. I live at Country Village, Lot 14, Section A. This is my ID card, and I voted at the Country Nursery School on March 2nd, and I never left the country.
My name is Puran Ramo. I live at Lot 7, Section A, Cotton Tree Village. I voted on the 2nd of March 2020 at the Cotton Tree Nursery School. This here is my ID card. I never leave this country to go anywhere.
There we have it, Brigadier and the rest of Guyana. We have persons coming out voicing their concerns. I'm hopeful that the GCOM will take a look at these clips, get an understanding of what is really going on. I think they know, and I think they ought to act. Brigadier, moving to the fourth and final question here, the statement. Mingo's fraudulent declaration is still the elephant in the room here. We not been able to get GCOM nor the APNU FC to give attention to Mingo's fraudulent declarations. And we know what. because they were still holding on to those declarations to give them a victory. We know that that will not happen. And we know that the claims that they've been making cannot hold weight. They are frivolous. They could not be detained by GCOM, nor the Guyana Police Force, nor by any right-thinking Guyanese. Could you tell the Guyanese population what should happen, given the fact that we know that Mingo's fraudulent declarations are not being addressed? We know that they're making claims which can be addressed after a declaration is made. Go ahead, Brigadier.
Well, you know, the narrative is changing all the time. You know, we had a narrative where they won the elections, right? Then it changed to the dead voting. No traction there, no traction from they winning the election.
Yes.
They said the winning the election end up in a recount. They said the dead voted, nobody took them on, and that rumor was dispelled. Then they moved to the giant services, votes not being counted, and that rumor itself was dispelled too, and still in the process of being dispelled, because only yesterday the PRO of GCOM came out with her report, and she said it's just about 1,500 of those votes were rejected. And you know, among the rejected votes were the votes that were rejected for the cause of not being stamped. So if you disaggregate that, it's a small number of votes that were rejected for not being stamped. And they start by telling us over 8,000 giant services votes were in jeopardy of not being stamped. So the giant services votes were counted.
Yeah.
So they apparently ease on that now, and now they're trying to hold fast on the migration issue. And for every person that come forward on that list is dispelling that rumor too. So the migration issue soon will be gone. Let's hope that they change the narrative and, like we requested, focus on Mingo. We want them to focus on Mingo. Tell us about Mingo. Tell about Mingo's misconduct. Because if there's any credible issue that must be investigated, must be Mingo. Mingo is the only issue that needs investigation. Mingo's mischief, Mingo's misconduct, that needs investigation. All right? And what they need to do is to tell us about Mingo and capture everything that they consider was done by Mingo and prepare for a petition. Because there's only one logical conclusion to this recount process.
Yes.
Logical conclusion to the recount process, at the end of the process, you declare the winners, and based on what we're seeing, it will vindicate our position that the PPPC has won this election.
Yes.
And, you know, allow the PPPC, being the rightful winners of the election, who represent the will of the people, to take office, and the APNU, AFC, do the decent thing and collate the information and go before the courts in the form of opposition.
Yes.
And let us breathe again in Guyana. Let us, as a people, come together post-election and develop this country.
Thank you very much, Brigadier Mark Phillips, our Prime Ministerial candidate for the People's Progressive Party, Civic, for your time and for your thoughts, your comments, and your analysis of what has been taking place during the recount process. I hope that Guyanese across Guyana and from those who may be looking at the program from the diaspora will be able to use most of what you would have said to help influence others who may not fully understand the issues, but I think they were clear, concise, and to the point. So thank you very much, Brigadier, for being with us this afternoon, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, people of Guyana, for listening to me once again.
Bye.